Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Today, we're going to continue to talk about imperialism. Today, we are going to define imperialism and colonialism and listen to describe the motivations for imperialism. There are many forms of imperial control. Colony was governed internally by a foreign power. Protectorate is when another country owned internal governments but were under control of an outside power. And sphere of influence, which is when outside power claims exclusive investments or trading rights. So the first wave began in 1492 and continued up until 1825. The location was in Europe. European powers did not usually acquire territory except for Spain in the Americas and Portugal and Brazil, but rather built a series of trading stations. West African trading cities were inland. East Africa, China, and India were farther away from the Americas. And trade winds honestly favored Europe. The impact of the first wave, at least for Portugal and Spain, colonies were used as resource-based economies. For France, there were battles with England and it shifted the colonies, less settlement and less impact in France. As for Great Britain, they learned from others and rose to be the greatest power. So, what is new imperialism? In 1901, Great Britain and other industrialized nations controlled most of the world. Great Britain was the largest empire ever. 20% of the world's land and people lived under British rule. It controlled land on every continent except for Antarctica. Great Britain was the most powerful nation in the world at this time. Why? Well, first off, their industry. Factory produced more goods than any other country. Number two was they had a strong military or navy. They guarded supply ships so goods arrived all over the world. And three, money. Britain became the world's banker and provided loans needed to build roads, mines, factories, and more. Nations competed for overseas empire, and Britain's league was challenged. And by the late 1800s, however, Germany and the United States were challenging Britain's economic leadership. And faced with a possible decline, Britain looked increasingly to its colonies for markets and resources. And at that time, imperialism became a race. Great Britain, Belgium, Italy, Germany, France, the Netherlands, Spain, Portugal, and the United States were all fighting in this race. They tried to stop each other from gaining any advantage and conquered foreign lands just so another nation couldn't get it. As for the Industrial Revolution, the advances in technology, science, industry, transportation, and communications had many advantages. We saw powerful militaries, strong economies, and well-organized governments. Nations competed for overseas empires, and Europeans believed in its own superiority. Europeans regarded their new technology, whether it was weaponry, telegraphs, railroad, as proofs that they were better than other people. This attitude is a reflection of racism, the belief that one race is superior to others. Europeans believed that they had the right and duty to bring the results of their progress to other countries. For example, the scramble of South Africa. This was an invasion, occupation, division, colonization, and annexation of African territory by European powers during the period of the new imperialism between 1881 and 1914. It's also called the conquest of Africa.